All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Ha, Rakah, Kodash, double honors to our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure until the end. Shalom wa abba ball. Alright, so on this video here, episode 621, this is only a test with Deborah Traveris. I'll share the link on the description box. And what she explains in here is with that frequency test, the emergency test for October 4th, which is going to take place tomorrow. Today is October 3rd, Tuesday, 2023, the year that we pray and hope that all the prophecies are fulfilled. Alright, according to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright, on this channel that Deborah Travera has on Rumble, it's called Stop the Crime. Alright, Stop the Crime. And what she was bringing out through her research was that people could actually self-ignite, catch fire with no cause, but the high heavy metals, the high toxicity of heavy metals in the body. Just like if you put a fork or a spoon, a metal spoon, a stainless steel spoon or whatever, or a bowl or something in the microwave, it sets off sparks. And that's what she was explaining, was when they do this frequency test, right, this emergency test on October 4th, 2023, it's possible that we could see actual people spontaneous combust. That's what it's called, spontaneous combustion. Alright, and why would that happen? Is because the metals inside the body heat up. Alright, so I'll share this on the chat. You can watch it. I don't want to play it because I don't want them taking it down, this video, but I'll put that in the chat. If I forget, it's at Stop the Crime on Rumble. But you don't even have to have an account to see it. Alright? But now I got an article on the spontaneous combustion. Right? Which it goes into the metal, right? Spontaneous human combustion. And what it's caused by is the metals in the body. This is the one that tells you that. This is the National Library of Medicine. See? Toxicity, mechanism, and health effects of some heavy metals. But you got to remember, everybody, well, not everybody, I know we didn't, but most people ran to take that little sword, that they demanded, that you have this venom that they created pushed into your body so that you could keep your job or whatever. Well, in there was heavy metals. One of the heavy metals that was in there, is they call it graphite, which is a heavy metal. It says heavy metal toxicity has proven to be a major threat, and there are several health risks associated with it. The toxic effects of these metals, even though they do not have any biological role, remain present in some of the other form harmful for the human body and its proper functioning. This is why people get Alzheimer's. They get diseases is because of these heavy metals that are being put in our body. It says they sometimes act as a pseudo element of the body, while at certain times they may even interfere with metabolic processes. Few metals, such as aluminum, can be removed through elimination activities, while some metals can get accumulated in the body and food chain exhibiting a chronic nature. It says various public health measures have been undertaken to control, prevent, and treat metal toxicity occurring at various levels, such as occupational exposure, accidents, and environmental factors. Metal toxicity depends upon the absorbed dose, the route of exposure, and duration of exposure, i.e., in other words, acute or chronic. This can lead to various disorders and can also result in excessive damage due to oxidative stress induced by free radical formation. This review gives details about some heavy metals and their toxicity mechanism, along with their health effects, which once again, this was published by the National Institutes of Health, which is a government page. And what I pulled it up with is spontaneous human combustion. All right, but they're saying that that's possibly the effect of it, which, you know, you have doctors that reject it, but they have documents on this. It says spontaneous human combustion is the pseudo-scientific concept of the spontaneous combustion of a living or recent deceased human body without an apparent external source of ignition. In addition to reported cases, descriptions of the alleged phenomenon appear in literature. The both types have been observed to share common characteristics in terms of circumstances and the remains of the victim. Scientific investigations have attempted to analyze reported incidences of CHC and have resulted in hypotheses regarding potential cases and mechanisms, including victim behavior and habits, alcohol consumption, and proximity to potential sources of ignition, as well as the behavior of fires that consume melted fats, because those metals would be in your fat cells. Natural explanations, as well as unverified natural phenomena, have been proposed to explain reports of SHC. The current scientific consensus is that purported cases of SHC involve overlooked external sources of ignition, which they're trying to, wrap their head around it, these devils, these Edomites, which you even got here on the History Channel. It says, is spontaneous human combustion real? It says, for several centuries, people have debated whether human beings can spontaneously combust or burst into flames without being ignited by an external source. Though the first known accounts of spontaneous human combustion, SHC, date all the way back to 1641. The phenomenon gained wider exposure in the 19th century after popular author Charles Dickens used it to kill off one of the characters in his novel Bleak House. Which I'm going to show you that in the 1600s they were actually getting lead in their bodies. It says here, this is off Dartmouth Toxic Metals. A taste for lead. For winemakers in the Roman Empire, nothing but lead would do. When boiling crushed grapes, Roman vintners, instead on using lead pots or lead-lined copper kettles, For the boiling, wrote Roman winemaker Commula, brazen vessels throw off copper rust, which has a disagreeable flavor. Lead sweet overtones, by contrast, were thought to add complementary flavors to wine and to food as well. So as you can see, they were putting this shit in their food back then. So how much more in this modern day Roman Empire, right? Babylon the Great, America, all right? Because they're doing the same thing that those Romans did back then, all right? Because America is Rome all over again. But with that, I just brought this out just to, hey, you never know, because if you ever stuck a fork or a bowl that is metal or has a ring, like one time I had this bowl and it had like gold plating on the rim, and I didn't even think about it because it was like porcelain or some kind of, clay that was turned into like glass, but it had like a gold little thin trim around the lip, and literally it freaking was sparking all crazy. If you ever forgot a spoon or something in a bowl and you put it in the microwave, it will spark. And that's what Deborah Traveris was explaining in this video. That if your body is full of are full of metals, right, you have a high chance of spontaneous combustion when these frequencies are put out, all right? Because it's going to turn the earth where those frequencies are, which they're saying is going to be all of America, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and Alaska. Even Israel is participating in their own test. Russia, they're doing a test supposedly today. So there's a lot of things going on that are causing these waves to intensify. But with that, all praises and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai B'Shem HaRakakodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abababam.